So we will chant the mantra which we have done there. This is the Vedic mantra. So this we chant before the study of the Chhandogya Upanishad, and we had done during the retreat also. So please repeat after me. Om Apyayantu Mamangani. Om Apyayantu Mamangani. Vak Pranaschakshushrottram. Vak Pranaschakshushrottram. Atho balam indriyani cha sarvani. Atho balam indriyani cha sarvani. Sarvam brahmopanishadam. Sarvam brahmopanishadam. Maham brahma nirakuryam. Maham brahma nirakuryam. It is so difficult. Maham brahma nirakuryam. Maham brahma nirakuryam. Mama brahma nirakarot. Mama brahma nirakarot. Anirakaranamastu. Anirakaranamastu. Anirakaranam mestu. Anirakaranam mestu. Tadatmani nirate. Tadatmani nirate. Ya Upanishad Sudharma. Ya Upanishad Sudharma. Te mai santu, te mai santu. Te mai santu, te mai santu. So it was wonderful the way everybody took interest in our discussion on the Vedas and Upanishads. Even those 2 days were not enough to even give a detailed introduction. We just touched upon the basic points. So that's why I thought that since as a follow-up, since we had discussed the concept of Mahavakyas, we'll all discuss that all meaning of those things. So let us just have an introduction to the Upanishad which contains that Mahavakya which we had mentioned there, that is Tat Tvam Asi. So there we didn't have much time. We just touched upon what Upanishad means. First, naturally, before studying any Upanishad, we have to know what the term Upanishad means in a little detail. So naturally, we will go to the great Shankaracharya for the explanation of the term Upanishad. I will also just quote a little of the Sanskrit and of course the translation. So the word Upanishad is derived by adding 2 suffixes, Upa plus Ni. And the root, we know all the Sanskrit words are derived from roots. So here the root is in the middle. Before the root is Upa plus Ni, and there is a suffix also. That is, we need not bother about that. It is called quip suffix in Sanskrit. So main is the root, of course. In every word the meaning is derived from the root. Different shades of meaning from the root. So the root is Sad. Now in Sanskrit another problem is even one root sometimes has many meanings. For example, Div Dhatu, as far as I remember, it has 8 or 9 meanings. In one sutra it is given there, in the Ashtadhyayi. So here Sad also, Shankaracharya says, it has 3 meanings. Sad Dhatur, then he says, of the Sad Dhatu, 3 meanings. What? Visharana, Gati, Avasadhana. So Visharana means disintegrate. Gati means go, and avasadana means loosen. So disintegrate, then go, and then loosen. Okay, so we have seen what the term Upanishad stands for. Swami Vivekananda has described it so well. Upanishad denotes the supreme knowledge. So what is the meaning, what is the relation of the meaning and this word? How are they connected? So Upanishad, the word etymologically means what? Because the root has three meanings: to disintegrate, go, and loosen. So what does this knowledge do? This knowledge disintegrates, splits up, destroys, and it also helps us to attain, to go. So what does it destroy? What does it injure? Sansara bija, the seed of worldly existence. Otherwise, if the seed is there, the tree will come up again. Sansara bija, like ignorance. In the case of those seekers of emancipation who, becoming detached from the desire for the seen and the unseen, this is the primary requisite. If you are not detached, no question of even wanting freedom. So from the seen means all these worldly things, even from unseen things, like suppose heaven, etc., which are not within the purview of the worldly knowledge. So those who are detached from these things, and just becoming detached won't do. Like, okay, I'm detached and go to sleep. No, that won't do. So they not only are detached, but they are very eager to attain knowledge. So they deliberate upon these Upanishadic statements with steadiness and certainty. The original Sanskrit, actually these are not possible to translate the words. Tan nishthataya nischayena shilayanti. Shilayanti means they are so focused on that, they practice that. What? Nishthataya, one is steadiness. After 10 days of meditation, nothing happened, so all this is useless. Let's go to the party. That won't do. And Nishchayana means they have no doubt. They have deliberated, thought about, they have no doubt about this Upanishadic truths. They are 100% convinced. Till you are 100% convinced, the steadiness won't be there. After 10 days, you'll be thinking, oh, is it true? Or they are just big words. So this does not happen without some very exceptional past impressions, past good works done for many, many births. So this is the etymological derivation of the term Upanishad. And Chhandogya, the word Chhandogya is derived from Chandas. Chanda means meter. Different types of meter. In the music we have seen, different types of tals are there. So like that. In poetry also there are different meters, you know. So Chhandogya derived from Chandas, and Chhandogya means actually one who is adept in this. Because actually Samveda contains Chhandogya Upanishad. Samveda is sung. So the Chhandogya Upanishad forms the last 8 chapters of the Chhandogya Brahmana. We have seen what does Brahmana mean, what does Samhita mean, all those in the retreat we saw. So it is the last 8 chapters of the Chhandogya Brahmana of the Sama Veda. And it is the second biggest of the major Upanishads. Which is the biggest one? Brihadaranya is the biggest one. Brihad means big. So Chandogya is the second biggest, but it is a very important source book for the author of Brahma Sutras, which is ascribed to Vyasa. So in the Brahma Sutras, the author makes numerous references to Chhandogya. Sometimes they say that there may be 130 references. And Shankaracharya also holds this Upanishad in great esteem because he quotes profusely in his commentaries, especially on the Brahma Sutras. So this is a very important Upanishad, as all Upanishads are, and this has quite a few stories also. It introduces us to great characters. So endearing and earnest seekers like Narada, Satyakama and Shwetaketu, as well as compassionate and wise teachers like Aruni, Sanat Kumara and Prajapati. So Satyakama, this Sanat Kumara and Aruni was Shwetaketu's teacher. Sanat Kumara was Narada's teacher. So, of course, the central teaching is of Advaita Vedanta, and this is brought home by striking similes and metaphors through a threadbare analysis of what is appearance and what is reality. So, analyzing then both these things, pointing out at the same time the one spiritual entity underlying the diversity of names and forms. That is the subject matter of all the Upanishads. So, and we know one of the Mahavakyas, great spiritual dictums of the Vedanta, finds its place here. We have seen that. Further, it makes a grand declaration, Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahman. All this is verily the supreme reality. So, one topic which is in Chhandogya, one story we have already discussed, that is the Indra and Virochana. So, Indra, leader, king of the gods, and Virochana, king of the demons. So, both became disciples of Prajapati, that is Brahma himself, the creator of the universe. So, this highlights the distinction between materialism with its bitter fruits of selfishness, egotism, etc., and spirituality with its blessings of peace, selflessness, love for others, etc. So, this about the subject matter which is dealt here, we have seen that it contains of 8 chapters, and what the chapters deal with? The first 2 chapters deal with meditation on Om, showing how the sound Om is the essence of the entire universe. Chapter 3, the famous teaching on Satyam, Satya, truth, as the foundation of all virtues. You can come here, these are empty. Why do people have allergy to sitting in front something in the seat or something in me, I don't know. So chapter 4 is the story of Satyakama and Javala, a seeker whose honesty and purity of intention helps him attain the highest knowledge. Chapter 5 contains various meditations. Various meditation means various upasanas on nature and life. So this links ritual to inner realization. We will see all these things. Chapter 6 celebrated dialogue between Uttalaka, Aruni and Shwetaketu, culminating in the Mahavakya. And the last chapter is meditation on the what is called Dahara Vidya, the space within the heart, pointing to the inner infinite self. So Chhandogya is not merely philosophy, it contains stories, symbols, meditations, and of course logical arguments. So it's a treasure house. Generally, you will see that we don't study the whole of the Upanishads. Like Kathopanishad, you see, we study the whole of it. But Chhandogya, you will rarely find the whole of it studied because the meditations which are there, those are not in vogue right now. And a detailed study for them will not generally interest the people of today. So we have seen that the great Mahavakyas, one of the Mahavakyas is in the Chhandogya Upanishad. So first we should know the meaning of Mahavakya. The term Mahavakya is of course two words, Maha plus Vakya. Maha means great. Vakya is sentence or declaration. So great sentence, not great in length, because the Mahavakyas are very short, but in significance. So in Vedanta it refers to certain key statements from the Upanishads that express the identity of the individual self and the supreme reality. Brahman is called Brahman. So these sentences are considered direct revelations of the non-dual truth. Non-duality means Advaita Vedanta, as we know. Dvaita means dual. Advaita means non-dual. So each Veda is associated with one principal Mahavakya. Rig Veda, Prajnanam Brahma, consciousness is Brahma. Yajurveda, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma. Samaveda we know, Chandogya. Atharva Veda, I am Atma Brahman, that is, this self is verily Brahman. So these are not just philosophical ideas, they just read them, then write an article, write a book. They are not meant for that. They are meant for direct realization. So generally, maximum what happens? People start writing books and giving lectures, especially in these countries. That is the sole thing. These are not meant for that, because without severe practices, complete self-control, we cannot even approach spiritual life. So naturally, let alone Mahavakyas. Now, what are the unique features of Chhandogya Upanishad? First, being a part of the Sama Veda, which specializes in the discipline of metrical chanting, it gives great importance to the word with a capital W. Meditation on Om is enjoined at the very beginning, and this is followed by an exposition of the identification of the word with prana. Prana we have already, that's why we discussed prana, one whole discussion. Individual as well as cosmic prana, the word is identified with that. So we can just say in the passing that Mandukya Upanishad treats in a brief manner, and that is dealt here elaborately. The other feature unique to this Upanishad that it is a treasure house of several important meditations. Meditation means, as we have said, upasana. It is also called Vidya because it leads to knowledge. So Shandilya Vidya, Madhu Vidya, all these are meditations. So as I said, these are not in vogue right now, but in those days they served as chief spiritual disciplines. They have changed their form, but meditation is of course still there, very much there. A little change in form, that's all. So actually this is one of the few Upanishads in which the major part consists of meditations. Another Upanishad which is slightly different from other Upanishads is the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. There we see a lot of devotion, a lot of meditation. So, meditation called Upasana in Sanskrit, and this type of Vedantic meditation is a little difficult to understand. We will need a separate discussion on that. A detailed studies needs time, but we need to have a little idea of this so that we can understand a little. So Upasana is roughly translated as Upanishadic meditation. What is the aim? It's aimed at engendering higher mental attitudes with regard to our daily avocations, even social contacts, even religious preoccupations. So these meditations are not for 1 hour, 2 hours. They are supposed to influence our whole life. Only that way we can really benefit. So it is aimed at inner transformation. Outwardly we will remain the same, but the transformation will be inside. So this elaborate process was worked out in all its philosophical bearings and practical details. And we will be surprised to know that these were taught by Rajarshis, means the sage kings like Janaka. They were kings, but they were great sages also. So they taught these vidyas. Now the term, again, Sanskrit, this is the biggest advantage. The term you can derive, the meaning you can derive from the root and the suffixes. So here also, Upasana. Upasana actually literally means, please come. Any seat empty? Here there is empty seat. So Upasana literally means sitting near. Sitting near means you cannot sit near God physically. So it is mental. Everything is mental here. Approaching an ideal. And Upasana also is referred by such words as Upanishad, Darshana, Veda. So according to the context. That is why it is very necessary to study with the commentary, of course. Without the commentary, it is all Greek. And with a teacher. Because the same word, like Atman, Atman has many connotations. Atman is also mind sometimes. And then also individual soul. Then also the supreme soul, So Upasana also you may see in the Upanishad that by Upanishad we mean Upasana. By Darshana we mean Upasana. By Veda also we mean Upasana sometimes. So these terms lay emphasis on several aspects of this meditation. So first, about Upasana, it is a personal thing. To be diligently protected as one's own. That is why those who have received the mantra initiation, they are told not to reveal the mantra to anybody because that is your personal thing. Revealing it will make it light, so to say. So here also these instructions are personal instructions. They are not to be talked about or argued about or exposed to others. I do this, I do that. So here I found that in Western countries, first of all they ask, who are you initiated by? So why are you getting a headache about who I am initiated by? In India this is not done. Till now it is not done. This is considered silly. These are personal things. So anyway, here also we have to remember that this Upasana is a very personal thing and it is only for those who are seriously practicing. So it is a mental attitude what is the changes come within us, within in our minds, about all these external things, about the world, about our relation with the world. And of course, when very seriously practiced, it leads to the highest goal. So that first the change of attitude, then comes the experience. Finally, the whole personality gets transformed. So naturally, this cannot be done in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. So, of course, for definition, again we will go to the great authority, the great Shankaracharya. Again, to again discuss this will take a lot of time. So I will just give a simple translation. First, I will just quote the original for those who know a little. Upasanam nama upasya arthvade yatha devta adi swarupam shrutya gyapyate tatha manasa upagamya asanam chintanam लौकिक प्रत्यय अव्यवधानेन यावद देवता आदि स्वरूप आत्म अभिमान अभिव्यक्तिरिति लौकिक आत्म अभिमानवत. So this has to be, when we discuss Upanishadic meditation, then but it is, the language is simply superb. So that is why when we see the translation, we will see what the Upanishads also say about this. So just the translation, Upasana is mentally approaching a deity. Why deity is said? It all depends upon your attitude. We can think of Varuna or Indra or any god as a small god also. Indra, I want to go to heaven. So when I think of Indra as with a wish to go to heaven, I am thinking of him as a particular deity. But when I think Indra, you are the Ishvara, you are the God of all. And I want liberation, I want your vision. The same Indra we are looking upon as Ishvara, God himself. So it all depends upon one's attitude. So anyway, it is mentally approaching that deity. Now when you approach someone, you have to know something about the person. No. Suppose you go to meet an officer. I was asking Abaji about a dentist. So if I go to the dentist, I must know a little. How did he treat Abaji? What happened, not happened. So introduction. So now how will you be introduced to this deity? But without knowing about him, why should you go to anybody? So this introduction will come from the Vedas itself, because there is no other way. And this is done by the stuti. In the scriptures, praise is there, stuti is there, all those things are there. So that is for us, for our information, so that we know about that form of God. So, basing upon that, we will find what? That whether we have a liking to it or not, liking for the deity or not. Which deity I like most? I like Krishna, Ganesha, Shiva, and we have infinite variety. So you can worship God in any form, any way you like. That is unique. That is nowhere else like we have. So, depending upon what is said about the deity, whether you like him or not, upon that you make him an object of meditation. So you meditate on Shiva, then many stotras are there on Shiva. So upon that you will base your meditation. We will go into that detail later. So concentrate upon that God without having your mind interrupted by any worldly thought. That is called Laukika Pratyaya Avyavadhanena. Till when? Till when are you supposed to concentrate? When will you know that my meditation has reached the goal? When you have been completely identified with that deity. Sri Ramakrishna says, become diluted in God. This is one of the few English words you know. One was like. So, and this diluted means completely dissolved in God. Till you lose your separate existence, so to say. Then only you can say that my meditation is now perfect. So, as he gives the example that now we feel that we are the body. There is no doubt in our mind. Completely identified with the body. That kind of identification, when you have with your deity, then you will know that your meditation is now, you have reached the final goal. So you can imagine how difficult it is. This is more or less a general introduction. Now we will just touch upon the introduction which Shankaracharya has given to this commentary, to this Upanishad from his commentary. So he starts with, of course, Om. Om, salutation to the Supreme Self, Hari Om. And now I will quote him. If necessary, I will just give a little explanation, not the whole thing. So the Chhandogya Upanishad, consisting of 8 chapters, starts with the text Om iti etat aksharam. That's the first mantra. Aksharam, that which does not decay. That is Om. This letter, that is Om. So, what is the relation? See, everything is so systematic here. These were written thousands of years ago, but their minds are so logical and systematic. So, first, when they tell us about this Upanishad, they will tell what is the relation with the portion which was there in the Vedas earlier. What is the relation? It is not just unrelated something. So relation with the earlier portion of the Vedas, what was that? It was dealing in rituals before the Chhandogya Upanishad. So all the rituals performed along with meditation. Now he says 2 important things. First, he divides humankind into three kinds of people. First, the highest kind. What? They are very honest, very charitable, very generous, very unselfish. They go by the scriptures. Not only that, they also perform meditation very seriously, lead very austere and simple lives. So these people, when they do meditation, what happens? They reach, there is a region called Brahma Loka, that is called the highest heaven. And they go by a path. That path is called the path of gods, Devayana. Now some people are there who are very good, honest, etc., perform charity and all, but they don't perform meditation, means they are not very devoted to spiritual life, but they are good people. They will go to the what is called the Pitriyana Marg, the path of the mains. That is called the lunar region, solar region, lunar region, and their path is the path of smoke. So all this happens after death, naturally. So they only perform ritual, means they are extremely good people who obey scriptural injunctions. Unselfish, charitable people. Only they have some worldly desires. So they cannot take up spiritual life through renunciation. So 2 ways, Pitriyana and Devayana. For all those who are obeying scriptural injunctions, and the highest is one who also does meditation seriously. And those who form the majority, unfortunately, they are completely prompted by personal tendencies. mere instincts, without any scriptures or any meditation, etc. They just do what they feel like doing. That is called Swabhava Pravrittanam. So they don't get any of these paths. They go to a lower state. Kashta Adhogati. Adhogati means down. So what happens to those who go up through the way of the gods and the way of the mains? Those who go to Brahma Loka highest, they are very, very few. They stay in that Loka till the cycle is complete, Brahma's cycle of creation. We have seen that creation is in cycles. They stay there, and then at the end of the cycle, they will become liberated. But those who don't do meditation but still they are good people, they will go through the lunar path to lower heavens. They will enjoy, like we have seen, till the bank balance of good karma is there, but they will have to come back. So everything is given in detail in the Upanishad. What happens? Those who go to the Devayana, the path of the gods, they say, a Manava Purusha, a superhuman being comes to lead the soul to Brahma Loka, because you don't know where you are going. It is uncharted territory. So someone has to come and lead you, so that actually it comes. And very, very fortunate souls, God Himself comes. Like we have seen that those who have read the life of Balram Basu. So Balram Bose was very devoted to Sri Ramakrishna. His house, Sri Ramakrishna has visited more than 100 times. There is no other place which he has visited so many times. Now, because it is a center of Ramakrishna Mission. So he was a great devotee, and he was about to pass away. And his wife was weeping, etc. Natural. But then she saw a vision that Sri Ramakrishna came and he took hold of Balram and he took him in a chariot or something to a higher sphere. Then her grief disappeared for some time at least. So those who have that power of vision, they can see also. So this actually happens. So these are the three, what he says in a short. Of course, this also requires a discussion, because in the Gita also these paths are mentioned. So three gati or way of life. So this Shankaracharya mentions. And why is he mentioning all this? He is mentioning this because to make us understand that all these three, they are not final. Because they don't immediately make you free. They don't immediately give you knowledge. First two, no question. In the one you will go below to a lower state, no question of knowledge. And the lunar sphere also you will enjoy and come back. Brahma Loka also not immediate freedom. You will go and long time you have to wait. So there only, his only aim is one, to give us the highest. Although we don't want that, but they are doing their duty. So he says absolute liberation cannot be achieved from any of these three. It can be achieved only by one method. What? While in the body, if you realize the truth, now itself you can become liberated. Realize the non-dual self. And that realization is mentioned in many, many wonderful ways. So I will just quote one of them. This Sanskrit is comparatively simple. So here, this is from the Chhandogya Upanishad itself. So he says, quoting the Upanishad, Atmaiva adhasthat, Atmoparishtat, Atma paschat, Atma purastat, Atma dakshinata, Atmottarata, Atmaivedam sarvamiti. So Sandhi, if you break up, Atma vai adhasthat. Atma is below. Atmaiva uparishtat. Atma is above. Paschat Atman. Atman is behind. Purastad Atma. Atma is in front. Dakshinata Atma. Uttarata Atma. North, south, everywhere is Atma. Atma eva idam sarvam. This is the supreme realization. That nothing exists except that one self. So he says that one who has realized this, one who sees this, reflects thus, understands, revels in the self, disports in the self, has union in the self, has pleasure in the self, he has achieved the supreme goal. Sava esha evam pashyan evam manvanam evam vijanan atmarati atmakrida atmamithuna atmananda. Everything is in the Atman only. Not in the shopping mall, ice cream parlor, no. So what happens? He becomes his own king. Swarat, it is called. He becomes a sovereign. He becomes free. He is not under anybody, anything. Any force in the universe. Nothing can touch him. Even if the whole universe, Swami Vivekananda says, crumbles to pieces, nothing can touch that person. That is true freedom. So, all these things are there in this wonderful Upanishad. So, explaining this, Shankaracharya says, it is through the self that everything at all times and in every way comes to the man of knowledge. The meaning is, he is independent of anything, all external things that are meant for the body, life, so-called enjoyment, etc. And he, the man of knowledge, who has such characteristics, who sees the self everywhere, who roams about in the self only, he becomes a king, a sovereign even while living. Even after death, he continues to be a sovereign, because death is nothing but only coming out of the body. So Turyananji, when he was Swami Turyananda, disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, very great soul, when he was he spent his final days in Kashi, Varanasi, Sevashram. So he was very ill, diabetes, and that at that time there were no medicines and all, so his eyesight was affected. So he said, see, if I want, I can extend my life. I can live longer. But I know I am not this body. It is just a piece of cloth. So I can go and leave any time. And even if I extend my life, one day it will have to go. One day the body will disintegrate. So this is an example of this kind of person. They don't care. Life or death is the same to them. On the other hand, he says, people like us, ye anyatha ata vidu. Vidu means with, to know. Anyatha, who understand other than this. Contrary to the understanding which has been spoken of. They come under a different ruler. Our ruler is different. We are ruled by the body. Pain in the stomach, go to the doctor. Want to eat this, run to this place. So this slavery is what we call enjoyment is nothing but slavery. So they, first of all, they are not their own kings, they are slaves. Second, they go to those worlds, it is called in Sanskrit Kshaya Loka. Kshaya means decay. They belong to those worlds that are subject to decay. Nothing will remain. Here what will remain? People come, people go, things come, things go. Everything goes towards destruction. That's why we say this world is limited and mortal. So those who don't attain this knowledge will remain in this kind of bondage. They will be influenced by anything which happens around them. Swami Vivekananda says, what is this world? How are we living? He says our condition is we are kicked about like a football by every wind that blows. That is our condition. So we are quite happy, no problem. So, and this has been explained in the Upanishad by various examples. When we study those examples, we can see. For example, previously there was when something was stolen and you have to decide if some 5 suspects are there who has stolen it. So they said, hold a burning axe. If your hand does not anything, if your hand is untouched, does not burn, means you are okay. You are not the thief. That is just an example. So here it also with those examples that the man of knowledge is compared to the one who holds the axe but he is unharmed, burning axe, like that it has been. So, and then he goes on to say some technical things which are not very related to us about this rites, Vedic rites, so Vedic sacrifices and all that. So his one main work was to establish the Vedanta philosophy, Advaita Vedanta, and for that he had to show that some other philosophies were not correct. So like Mimamsa, Purva Mimamsa, Vedanta is also Mimamsa, it is Uttara Mimamsa, and Purva Mimamsa is those who say that these sacrifices are all that Vedas teach us. Do sacrifice, go to heaven, come again do sacrifice. So he has to prove that is not right. So he goes into a little argumentation that this supreme knowledge cannot coexist with these selfish works. Like I want this, so I want to do this sacrifice. These two cannot coexist. Why? Because when this final realization comes, then what is eradicated? The feeling that I am the doer and I am the enjoyer. With this we have discussed in the lecture on Sansara. So all these are connected. You have to have a complete idea if you want to learn the Upanishads, what the Upanishads teach. So he goes into a little detail, but we are not interested in that. So the thing is, only after attaining the supreme knowledge, one can truly enjoy peace and blessedness. And other parts of his commentary here are very important also. Why? Because they show the relation. So the question, he himself raises the question. So when he writes, actually till you read the original we cannot have an idea. He himself raises the objection, representing the other school, that someone might object like this. Then he himself answers. So he himself raises the question that why in this Upanishad, which is teaching Advaita truth, non-dual knowledge, then why is meditation mentioned? So many types of meditation. What is the reason? And he shows the reason. That is a detailed reason. So when we discuss the Upanishadic meditation, then we will go into all that detail. Wonderfully he shows. We can also have the question, no, because in our tradition also everything starts from meditation. From chanting of God's name, singing His praises and meditation. All of us have to start from there. So we can also have the question, then how does this lead to the Vedanta realization? When we read the Shankaracharya's detailed commentary, we will see. So he will justify, he will show us why this Upanishads, whose ultimate aim is liberation through knowledge, still discusses so many kinds of meditation. And he will also discuss what is the difference between non-dualistic realization and meditation. So as I just said, in the supreme realization, the non-dualistic realization, the very feeling of agent, instrument, action, result, karta, bhokta, all these vanish because this false self completely vanishes. This self is nothing, this I is nothing but a creation of ignorance. It is all been superimposed on this real self. I am this, I am that, etc. etc. Like the snake is superimposed on rope. There was no snake in the past, present, and future, but we think there is. So when the realization comes, this whole thing vanishes. When the I itself vanishes, false I, then who will do, what he will do, what he will gain? There is nothing to be gained. You already gained everything, is it not? The true self. But in meditation, there is a difference because I am the meditator and I am meditating on something else. Is it not? So meditation itself, the process of meditation cannot be called supreme knowledge. It is a step. It leads us to that. So that's why Upanishads teach meditation also, because most of us have to start from there. So he will show us that meditations which are mentioned in the Upanishad, they are helpful to the final knowledge, non-dualistic realization. How? By way of presenting a glimpse of the reality of Brahman. Through what? Through the purification of the mind. Without meditating on God, without chanting His name, without thinking of Him, without doing good things, mind will never become purified. It will remain as it is. We can write books, we can give lectures, we can become world famous. Nothing will happen actually. No progress. So these are the steps for everybody. So he says, from this purification of mind will occur, we will have a better idea. Now we don't have any idea at all of the nature of God. Slowly, some kind of idea will begin to form. And it will not happen in one day. Because all the sanskaras which are there, they are very deep rooted. That is why, if we want, we cannot engage in meditation throughout the day. It is impossible. Slowly, it has to be done. That is the thing. So meditations are higher than selfish works, like even the Vedic yagas, Vedic sacrifices, which are done with some purpose. If you do meditation to attain God, that is a higher step. But if you do meditation with the selfish purpose also, you can do. Then it will be on the same path, like the sacrifice. It depends upon the attitude. That is the main thing. So in this way, he shows us first the subject matter of the Upanishads. First he shows us the three types of people. One will go to the highest, one will remain where they are, they will come and go. Third will go down from where they are. Then secondly, what is the chief aim of this Upanishad? The chief aim of this Upanishad is to eradicate our ignorance here and now. But our problem is what? Even if we study it 10 times, we will not gain knowledge. Why? Because the preparation is not there. Preparation has to be there through these meditations, through spiritual practices, through good works. This is how he relates. That this is only not meant for only the highest spiritual aspirants. This is meant for people like us who are beginning. They have to go through this path. That is why these meditations are mentioned. So slowly we can progress, and we can first have an idea about those Vedantic meditations, etc. What do they mean? And after all, what is done today is also meditation in a different form, but the basic principle is the same. The basic definition of Shankaracharya, Upa Asana, coming near the deity mentally, that is the same. So it is very helpful. So all those will come later. We can stop now because we have to do some practice of the songs for the Durga Puja, which is next week. Let's stop here today. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram